Hello, today we are talking about 5 things that you should know that you actually need to know before you start accepting insurance, based off of the number one statement I hear dietitians say when they are thinking about taking insurance. And they let me know I'm thinking about it, but I have no idea where to start, and I'm trying to gather information. So if you are in the process of thinking about accepting insurance, you are wanting to know where to even start, what do you need to know before you go through with this, then this video is for you. So you are not alone, you are not behind if you don't know the first steps. So we're going to talk about 5 simple steps that is going to make sure insurance is the right place for you and what to do about that thought, what to do about that confident insurance is for me. So first, you're going to decide why insurance is important to you, because this is going to determine which insurances you maybe start with. It's going to determine how you market, how many clients you're going to need, depending on reimbursement rates, etc. So some dietitians are wanting it to replace a low-paying telehealth company that they're still doing what they would be doing if they had their own private practice that was insurance-based. Maybe they have a cash-based private practice already. Maybe it's even a group practice, but they want the stability of having insurance for clients who cannot afford out-of-pocket costs, but they have insurance coverage. So this can determine where you start and where you go. So if you have a, cash-based practice and you know, okay, well, I keep getting people from Blue Cross, Blue Shield, I'm going to start there. I know that's where I want to go. Or maybe you keep getting, friends and family asking you if you accept insurance and you find out they have a specific insurance, that might be where you start. So if any of that sounds like you, insurance is a right step for you, but how do we go about it? So the next step is going to be understanding the basics. We have credentialing and we have contracting. Credentialing is going to basically validate that you are a provider, you are a dietitian with that insurance company. But that does not mean you're going to be getting paid from that insurance provider, even if you submitted a claim and saw a client who has, we'll go with Aetna, for example. But if you are credentialed with them, you're on the right track. But you have to go through that contracting process. So you'll get credentialed first, and then you'll get a contract sent back to you. And these are 2 different things. You will get an email saying you are credentialed, and you'll get an email saying you are contract. That contract is going to be where you agree to rates, you agree to the terms. And this is the portion where once you are signing that, you can get paid from that insurance company, get that reimbursement. So understand these are not the same, and they're often misunderstood. You'll hear like, oh, I'm getting credentialed with insurance companies. Okay, great. We need to ensure we're also getting contract with those insurance companies to delay, and so we don't get delayed on how we get paid and the frustrations that we maybe feel from the system. So the other thing we want to do before getting that contract, or maybe before starting to see clients with insurance, is to make sure we have the right things we need in order to get going. So that is going to be having just a few of them. Are going to be some little tools. We need an MPI. We need to know if we're needing a professional liability company, or if we need just a limited liability company. If we need an S Corp or business entity. And this is going to be dependent state to state. One of the top ways I've seen people who've tried to get an insurance contract on their own is they had the wrong form of business entity that they needed in order to get contract with insurance companies. So they had not a professional limited liability company, but just a LLC. So getting the right business entity, you also need to make sure you have your CAQH fully completed and attested. And I can link that video on what CAQH is. And all of these things we go through in my Insurance Mastery Academy. All the little details, you get a sheet of a list. It is linked everywhere you need to go, step by step by step, no digging, no confusion, just, okay, in this order, we need all these things before we start our contracts. So if you're interested, let me know. Anyways, the next step, we'll keep this brief, is to decide how you want to market your practice. So if you know, okay, I'm going to get insurance, how do I want to market my practice? This could determine if you're going to start insurance, but also which insurance companies you see. So if you know in your area there is no, say United Healthcare, but that's the only one you're contract with, that doesn't make a lot of sense if you're wanting to market locally. Maybe you're marketing more on social media and that's more widespread and you have lots of state licensures. Okay, great. That could be where you start. But decide on how you want to market. If you want to market at a local doctor's office and you know that is your specific niche, who you want to work with, that is your ideal client, go ahead and call that doctor's office and ask them, what insurance companies do you see the most? Figure out exactly where you want to go and where is most lucrative to start. Obviously, we could get in contract with as many insurance companies as we want, and that works great. But sometimes it's nice to just start small and do, okay, I want to get one, I want to see how that goes, and then I'm going to do the rest. So figure out where you want to start, what insurances are in your area, or where you want to do your marketing. Okay, the last one I recommend before you dive in is just to learn the language. Insurance has its own language. You're going to hear things like CPT, ICD-10, you're going to hear MPI, you're going to hear CAQH, you're going to hear reimbursement, you're going to hear ERA. There's so many terms that feels like you're learning a new language. And so, yes, I want you to learn the language, but I want you to be okay with being a new learner. You can look things up as you go, and you can get in the right spaces where you'll hear these terms. And this might be in Facebook groups. It might be in a coaching program. It might be in a guided way to get contract. But that is what I would recommend, is understanding that, being fluent is going to help you get more comfortable with being in insurance, reading the contracts, understanding what things mean. So learn the language as best as you can by being in the right spaces. And if this sounds like, okay, this is what I need, this is clear, I want even more clarity, then my Insurance Mastery Academy for Dietitians is going to guide you from ground zero all the way through getting your contract, marketing your practice, getting your first clients, submitting your claims, having your systems in place for your insurance-based private practice, benefits checks, and getting your reimbursements without having a denial the first 5 times. So if that sounds great to you, I will link it below, and I hope you have a great day. I hope this was super helpful and that it gave you some clarity on what you need to do next to get contract with insurance for your private practice.